I have to turn one down. Okay.
Yes, you have to turn one down. That's the sad part of it.
Can
Okay,
you
it's
hear
giving
me?
it feedback. Yeah. It's giving a feedback. Okay, so maybe just mute. Uh, we are live already now
Okay.
on all the other platforms. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you on Instagram. Yes. So the restraint service goes to all the platforms. Let's just go on. No, let's go on. That will not deter us. So we are live on YouTube now. The Leadership Factory with Toye Sobande. So I have with me Dr. Shola Fajano. Thank you, Shola, for obliging us to be a part of this. We have some people joining us on Instagram Live already. I don't want you to be bothered. Well, you can put an earpiece for your Instagram Live.
Oh,
Shola.
okay. I can do that.
So you can put an earpiece so that it will, the feedback, all the other bits will just come to you.
Okay, good.
So we're live on YouTube, like I said earlier. So,
Okay.
the beauty of this technology is whilst we're live on IG, on this other platform, Restream, we're able to connect to guys on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So we are good now.
Idea, though.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So we can have more people be a part of this. So, like what the Leadership Factory is about: exceptional leadership by ordinary people. Exceptional leadership by ordinary people. What does that really mean? One of the things that seems to be missing in our environment today is exceptional leadership. Exceptional in the sense that the level of effectiveness and significance and the number of people leadership has affected is dwindling in a way that, especially when you look at our governance structure, we look at our immediate environment in terms of mentoring, in terms of providing direction and inspirations for people. People seem to find that in other things these days. Likely, some people we find very inspirational are guys in the entertainment world now. So I was discussing with somebody about the Grammy Awards for Burna Boy and Wizkid. It attests to the fact that these guys do not only just know their craft, but they are hardworking. They are working very hard. And for the religious mind who says, "Oh, I don't listen to Burna Boy because it's not a gospel song," and I laugh and I said, "Well, I'm not asking you to agree with the lifestyle of Burna Boy. You are not in the place to judge him, but the guy is adopting some principles, hard work. In the community that we are in, the environment we are in now, one of the strong value systems that people used to espouse some 25, 30 years ago is hard work. It's no longer a subject of discussion anymore. Nobody espouses it. Nobody rewards it. So you see a son telling you, "Oh, my dad worked for this company for 25 years. What did he get? A certificate of commendation and a handshake from the MD. And he cannot pay my school fees. Oh, the best they even gave him was a gold wristwatch." And what the person is trying to suggest to you is that, so all that years of labor went into nothing. That the best reward his father or his mother got for 25 years of labor in an organization is at most a certificate of commendation, a handshake, and probably a gold wristwatch. And available to his parents being stolen by some guys. He stole the pension so much that his son also joined him in stealing people's pension. These are the critical issues. So let's get to know who Shola is. Introduce yourself to the audience. We have quite a number of people joining us on Instagram Live now.
Yes,
They are
well, my name
watching
is
you.
Well, my name is Shola Fajana, and I am opportune to graduate from the great Obafemi Awolowo University,
Yeah, it's pretty fair.
and well, my little experience with leadership started from way back in Ife, and when I moved out here, I have other passions and interests, and of course, was able to lead, in my own little way in the political sphere in this country. And I found out that leadership is the same everywhere. There's nothing different about leadership. Leadership is just presenting yourself for service. Every single time that you get the opportunity to stand to serve people, whether from the front or from behind, you are leading.
Yeah.
And most times people always think that you always have to, hold this very big position to be able to be a leader, but actually you do not actually need any position to be a leader.
Yeah.
What you actually need is that ability to say that I am ready to serve. And you don't need, you could literally be the least guy in the room, but you are willing to serve. Once you do that, you are providing leadership. So
Leadership.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been opportune to work with like political campaigns, you know, on different capacity. I've been able to work with Beto Roy. I also was able to work with Ralph Northam, who's current governor of Virginia, and also I'll be able to do some phone bank with Joe Biden and some, some other um, people from here like Abigail Spanberger and the rest who are currently in the Senate and of course in the Congress. So yeah, those are my little experience. You know, currently on providing leadership from where I am present.
Awesome. 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 So, how did you stumble on this idea, this subject of leadership? When was your first encounter with the subject of leadership?
Okay, so my first encounter was dated back, I think, 2000 and well, I mean, I was just a young guy who grew up, from like pretty much like maybe below average, Nigerian family. Okay, so I literally never had the word leadership until maybe when I was like almost, I think, 16 or so. So nobody ever spoke to me about leadership. I've never been in a room and someone told me about leadership. But I want to tell you, you might just be the same thing with me right now. You never had that word leadership before. You've never been interested in leadership. You've never held any post in your life. But leadership is in nature, is something God has placed inside of you. It will come out. You've been practicing it, but I never knew that, there was leadership in me. And every single individual, I said, extrovertic and introvert, no matter who you are, you were made to be a leader. Okay, so at age I think 16, when I finished from secondary school, I went to one secondary school that so when I finished from secondary school, they we Since I was just on the street and someone walked up to me and be like, "Hey, excuse me, can you help? I mean, can you be a part of this home cell?" Okay. And I was like, "Oh, home cell, what does home cell mean?" They'd be like, "Oh, this is a home cell for Daystar Christian Center, and I want you to be a part of it." And I'm like, "Sure." But when I got to that home cell and I found out there was a problem, we don't have a lot of people. Okay, so it was just me and the lady who introduced me to the home cell. So I said, okay, you know what you were doing the other day, I would start doing it. I would go from house to house because you're a female. But I would do that. I would do that 20 minutes before our time. I would knock on all my friends. I would look for them and bring them to this home cell. And that was exactly when it started. And of course, she was so happy. And she said, you know what? I'll just give you one position, maybe assistant something, even though you don't attend the church. But you can. And that was how old Johnny began. And I Sister Taiwo, I don't even have a contact with her anymore. As soon as I gained admission and I left and I went to school, and that was how I lost contact with her. I don't even know where she is right now. She got married because at that time she was of course single and with her parents. Okay, so when she got married, she left while I was in school. She got married and left. And of course, I don't know where she is right now, but I'm telling you that leadership started from that little spot. And it grew up. It grew up from there. I've held, I've held different positions after then. But at that point, I had no position. There was no sitting somewhere and someone saying, "Oh, I give you this position to be able to do it." So when I see people in organizations, when I see people working in organizations, working in places, and fighting over positions, and I'm like, you don't understand leadership. Because if you actually understand leadership, you will be thinking of solutions in the place of service instead of positions. So anybody who's providing value, who's giving value, who is solving problems, is that that person is the leader in the room, not the person who has or owns a position.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. I love the fact express who saw you a platform. Essentially, say for now, who is aspiring towards leadership position, because to me, that interview, somebody leadership perspective, as somebody trying to mention the government, and most times I'm reluctant to be drawn to school analysis on the performance of a governor or the president or a minister, and that's a major orientation that people have. That when they hear leadership, the next thing they are thinking of is those who are in political offices. So how do you distinguish that? So when you're, giving people perspective in terms of your own leadership experience. So your first encounter with leadership and your subsequent encounter with leadership has not been a political position, isn't it? You were just given responsibility to be a part of something.
It was just knocking doors, pretty much. In fact, it wasn't even given a responsibility because this was a guy who wasn't going to the same church. I was just being invited to be a part of something. But I saw that problem, that loophole, and I said to myself, I think I can do that. I think I should help out with that. I think I should volunteer to do that. I think I should be able to help with that. And that's exactly how we started.
Yeah.
And when I hear people saying, "Oh, there's none of my business. I'm just gonna just sit down here and I'm just gonna do what,
not be responsible for anything.
What that basic stuff that is expected from me," then you are not a leader. Then you are not thinking leadership in a different perspective. You're not thinking leadership in a completely in the real context of leadership. Because leadership, you need no position whatsoever to lead.
Awesome. Sorry, I just needed to make that adjustment so that the Instagram viewers can actually see us and be a part of this. Because I realized I kept moving my eyes in this direction.
Right.
So I needed to move my stand. So um, the how do we solve this problem in giving people perspective as to the real definition of leadership? A lot of people want to become leaders. A lot of people are already leaders. They think you have to be anointed. They think you have to be given a position. How do you resolve that?
Okay, so from my own leader experience, I think if you get to if you whenever you hold a new position, whenever you get into a new space, ask yourself, where is the problem in this space?
Awesome.
What is one thing? In fact, you ask your team lead, what is the place that someone is most needed at this time?
Yeah.
Where is the problem?
Yeah.
People would attract to where the solution is.
Yeah.
Naturally, when the old pandemic started, for example, when the old pandemic started, everybody started. I didn't know anybody named Dr. Fauci.
Mm,
Everybody just started listening
getting to hear
and
about him.
talking to the person who has the solutions to the problems, who has an answer to the
Yeah.
problems. It's
Is
just
the
natural.
expert. Mm.
Yes. And guess what? You have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. You have to dress for that day. You have
Yeah.
to be ready for that day. You have to
Yeah.
look for that day. You have
Mm.
to be sound for that day. And when I hear people, there's many things you have to be intentional about.
Okay.
You walk into a room, you find out that, this this organization that I'm just working for, our lobby
Yeah.
is always dirty.
Yes.
Your lobby is always dirty. You're not supposed, and people always think leadership in most times that you are supposed to be the one to do it. No,
Mm. Mm.
your only job is to look for that problem that no one was seeing and
Yeah.
find a solution to it. We didn't
So
say
that
do it.
that reminds me of David's story. Sorry there, where there were two things involved that Saul asked him. David asked a question, and he needed answers. He said, "What is going to be given to the man that solves this problem?" First of all, he identified that there was an uncircumcised Philistine who was insulting the God of Israel. That was a problem. Then the next question he asked, what will be given to the man who takes this guy out? So what you're literally saying to me is very exciting, because I teach this all the time. I tell people the two key elements to leadership is this. You get into a place, you ask, what is the problem of the organization now? Now, so to balance it for someone who is listening to us, we're not encouraging you to begin to snoop for problems and begin to create gossip or begin to create dissension in any organization. But because beyond your job description, beyond what is written for you in your letter of employment, your job, what you were employed for, was to add value to the organization. And when you add value, you are solving a problem. You are solving a problem. So how do you encourage someone to develop problem-solving skills? What are the basic things? Because since leadership is about providing solutions, and providing solutions means you are solving problems. So someone is asking a question. So how do I develop a problem-solving skill? Since leadership is about providing solutions and I'm solving problems, what advice do you have for someone
First,
listening
to
to us
be
right
able
now?
to be able to say this is to be able to develop a problem solving ability, you yourself have to be rock solid. You have to be rock solid. You have to be prepared. You have to be able to work in a team. You have to be able to say, oh, excuse me, we are dropping on sales today, right? I know this is not my business, but you can walk up. Okay, let me give you this example. So
Okay.
I was working as a research, not a research assistant, a field worker in a research. Okay. And I walked up we were having a review. I wasn't the big boy in the room at all. right? I mean, there were people who have been working in the field for like 20 years, 15 years. And I was just this young, pretty much a student that just came to like get all day jobs and, just to get some money. So I was sitting in the room and they were debating and brainstorming. We were just at the back, we were just sitting there. And I was like, oh my gosh, why are these people thinking so hard about what I know? I already know this thing. I can just raise my hand and just tell them and get them out of this misery. And I was just, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? And I remember I just summoned the courage. I just be like, excuse me. He said, okay, let's. And the person who was anchoring that meeting was so nice enough to say, oh, we have found the guy, because they were brainstorming. Let me tell
Awesome.
you, no matter how small you are, when you have the solution, you are the biggest guy in the room. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
True.
need to go back home every single time in your organization you find that problem. You need to go back home and think like the CEO. You have to
Yeah.
start thinking like the CEO. I raised up my hands and I said, okay, let's hear you how. They were trying to debate how to group and classify, because of course they have to make instruments, questionnaires for people who
Okay.
are going to the field. So they were trying to um state out what one thing meant and the other thing wasn't. And I said, what if we walk into a place and we find out that these people have a weighing balance and that categorizes to one and the other one don't? That was just like a breakthrough. And the entire room went on and started clapping. The guy said, you know what, young man, can you see me after this meeting? When I walk into
Awesome.
his office, he said, like, I want to mentor you in research. I'm like, sir, I don't want to be a statistician. I don't want to be that. I'm just a guy who is trying to find a solution. And it has been like that. I walk into a new organization. I'm telling people, excuse me, is there anything aside from my work right now okay, for example, when I was in college, when I was in the university, okay, there's this projector in our class. Nobody wants to set it up. I wasn't in the class, the class rep or whatever it's called. But when there's a problem trying to set this, there'll be the so I did it
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 times, such that they know when I don't come to class. People will know
Yeah.
when you don't show up, when
Yeah.
you're a problem solver. Okay. If you're a problem solver and you get in a place, people, I was one of those kids that will take, oh, why are people in my class going 3, 4 miles to go get a photocopy material? Okay, why can't I just go ahead and make the photocopy materials and bring it to the people in class? And people want you to do what? People want you to help them get things cheaper, and that's how to
Yeah.
solve problems. Okay,
Yeah.
people want you to help them get things faster. Okay,
Yeah.
people want you to help them get things cheaper. You walk into a room and you be like, what? Oops, sorry. And you ask yourself, oh, why are we paying 100,000 for this?
Yeah.
We could be doing this more cheaper. You see, my boss, when I was working in Lagos, right? My boss called me recently and said, you see, I've not been able to replace you in a long time. And this is
Are you
mainly.
serious?
He said, I've not been able to replace you because there's one thing that you do. You are asking me every single time, how are we paying the rent for this house with this kind of bill? Okay. How are we paying rent for this property? How are we buying things to stock this hospital? Because
Awesome.
you are trying to factor that into every single day thing. Said, I've
Decision.
never
Yeah.
seen anybody like that before. Said, I
Yeah.
used to today tell the people that I wish you guys can be like that. You
Oh.
have to not only help people to be able to save money, you have to help your organization save money. You have to help them block that loophole,
Goals. Yeah.
that loss. You're working in a small organization, you're asking yourself, hey, how do we not lose clients? How do we not, people don't want to lose? And when you are helping them, you don't have to come with the brightest idea. These are just simple templates that you can go ahead and implement. Ask yourself, what's happening in this organization? How can I help them to lose,
Yeah.
to stop
To solve
losses?
problems. Yeah.
Okay, how can I help them stop losses? One. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
you're helping them. How can we do this thing faster?
Yeah.
How can we help people do things faster? Why are our customers? Why you're running a restaurant? Why are customers staying 5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours on the drive-through? Come on, we can do something,
Yeah.
to be able to help this thing to move faster. And you are doing that. You are helping the organization. And guess what? You might do it the first day. The second day, you might do it. The third day, nobody might notice. But guess what? The fourth, fifth, sixth,
Yeah.
seventh, 10th, 8th, 20th time that you start doing that stuff, people start noticing that
You
difference
start
in
noticing that.
progress
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff is producing for the organization. And they will, guess
Exactly.
what? Guess who the next person meant for promotion? You're the one. You're
Exactly.
really the one. Because guess what?
Exactly.
He's doing
Exactly.
so much. He's doing a lot. Let's just bring him forward. Let's bring him to the front of the line. Maybe if he gets
Mm.
more position, maybe you'll be
Mm.
able to effect more change.
Awesome. 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 That's a brilliant one, Shala. Fantastic. Fantastic. So let's summarize this for someone who's just joining us on Instagram Live who didn't hear you. We were talking about your first encounter with leadership, how you develop your own personal leadership ability, and you narrowed it down to something that a leader is someone who provides solutions. And I asked you a question. So providing solutions means solving problems. So how do people develop problem solving abilities? And one of the things you emphasize is the person has to develop he or herself in a way that is solid enough to prefer ideas that helps people get things done faster, get things done cheaper, and get things done more easily. Now, is this ability, this solution-driven ability, this problem-solving skill, is it environmental? Is it cultural? Or does it have to do with your skin color?
Okay.
Because if
So
you observe our situation in this part of the world, we have a debt of leadership. So if you are saying leadership is providing solutions, right now we have a lot of problems. So that means if leadership is about providing solutions and we have problems, that means we don't have any leadership in this country because we have a myriad of problems that remain unresolved. So that means the crop of guys who are in leadership in this part of the world have problem-solving abilities. But
abilities.
if you look at the other client, tell you where you are coming from right now, you live in the United States and you work there. Is it a function of our skin color? Is problem solving
No,
an
no.
environmental and cultural thing?
People will listen to the person that has the solution. Like I said,
Yes.
no matter
Yes.
who you are, no
Yes.
matter, I mean, I literally just moved into this country. I moved into this country, and of course, I've been able to do those little things that I told you with better Roy,
Yes.
and all those things. One thing is rare around the world. There is scarcity of leaders, and
Mm.
it's just everywhere.
Mm.
Everybody is working in a selfish. Everybody just wants to make money. Everybody
Mm.
just wants to go do their own thing and leave. But when you are that guy that walks into a place and be like, what's the more thing I can do here? What's something they're not gonna pay me for that I'm gonna
Yeah.
do here? Can we knock more extra $5? Or can I do extra more $10? Can I take it a step further? And people start paying attention to you. This I mean, this guy's just a different breed. We've never seen anybody like this. To stand out, you just need to do a little extra. To stand out, you just need to do a little more. And let me tell you this: leadership in Nigeria, a leader in Nigeria is a leader in the United States. With no time, would become a leader in the United States. Someone who is not a leader in Nigeria would get anywhere. You still not become a leader. So a leader is who you are. It's the perception that you have towards problems, toward things, is exactly what makes you a leader and not. So, but one thing is different. One thing that I think is different is systems. Okay. So when you get into a place, let your results be able for someone else to be able to reproduce your results. Okay. So you're getting into a place. Just recently, I just said, okay, you know what? I want to Google one thing that I did when I was in the university, of course. I said, I just want to check the hashtag of one thing that I did in the university. Okay. And I checked it and I figured out that they still do that stuff till today. That thing, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I just don't. Of course, one day I was just like, oh, I brought up this great idea when I was in the university. Let me just check the hashtag, maybe whether these kids. I mean, I've not even contacted. I don't even know anybody going to Paris right now. I mean, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just check because I mean, kids of nowadays now use social media, right? Back in our days, we don't use a lot of social media. Let me check that hashtag. Let me just find a hashtag and see if they still do that service, that specific service that I
Mm.
created. Guess what? I found out some really nice pictures, and from they are actually from Paris, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is interesting. Like this is something that I built into the system, so
Yeah,
it would outlive me.
exactly.
When you build
But nobody's
something
going to even remember whether
around
you started it or
yourself,
not.
it would not outlive you. But when you
Yes.
build something around systems, it would
Mm.
definitely outlive you.
Mm. Mm.
And another thing that in fact, currently I do it at work. No, some people will not create a specialty for you. You have to create your specialty such that people will call you when they see things that type of problems. Amen.
Yeah.
Are you listening to me? So,
Yeah.
for example, you just walk into a place, you're a new guy, I mean, right? And there everybody's talking about, um, we only see people until 4, right? And you say, anytime each and every one of you have an overflow of after 4, I can wait 30 extra minutes to be able to take it. So you're building a specialty for yourself. That's building a
Yes.
specialty. So that
Yes.
when they see anybody who's coming after 4, they'll be like, oh, maybe you should pass that person to this person. You're already building a
Exactly.
specialty for yourself.
Yeah.
So you should gravitate also to the place that there's more when there's difficulty, right? An uncomfortable you
Exactly.
know area for other people. But how do
Yes.
you allow that to outlast you, to outlive you? Because trust me, it has now become after I saw that hashtag, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is real, right?
Mm.
After I saw the hashtag, I was like, this is a lesson about systems. You have
Yes.
to build systems for things to work. And that's the difference between things here and things. You should be able to leave your work today. You should be able to call out sick out of work, and somebody will be able to get into that role and be
Waiting
able to
for you.
come
Yeah.
and reproduce the exact results that you so someone will ask and be like, "Oh, what if some? So how do I stand out when other people can reproduce
Mm.
my results?" Why? How you stand out is the founder of anything is always attached to the solutions that they provide.
Yeah.
So if I walk up into Caris today and I'll be like, "Hey, praise God," I mean, do you guys still do that service? And they'll be like, "Yes," because it's associated to having friends and having this because I branded it around friends. Okay, so that they can bring more people. Friends can bring other friends to church. Okay, so I branded it around friends. I say, yes, we do it because it works so great. I said, who is in charge right now? They'd be like, that guy. I said, did you read that note that I left? Number one thing, two things, three things, four things to execute this same thing. And you'd be like, yeah, I saw that note. It was typed. Yes, that was me. Maybe they
Mm.
might have made another new version of it, but yes, that was me. That was
Yeah.
me right now. Maybe they might even modify it because guess what? We always think the way things are done in 2020 is the same way they should be done in
No.
2030.
No.
Like I
No.
was telling you earlier, today that yesterday, of course, that if Dangote was just rebagging cement today, he won't be the richest black person.
Yes.
If Elon Musk was just dealing with that small little, if Amazon was just selling books, because they were Amazon was started off as a book website. If they were still just selling books, maybe now that we have ebooks and all that, we would not, they'll be out of business, and we
Yeah.
would not hear that. We would not hear about Jeff Bezos today.
Yeah.
You have to be open to change. You have to
Mm.
be open to, you're not casting stone. That's why you grow. You need to change. You need to metamorphose. You need to evolve from where you are right now. So you are solving problem A. Don't sit on it. Just leave that alone and change, metamorphose into a new version of you. And when you do that, trust me, people are just gonna come around you wanting to see how you're doing it. Because guess what? You are the star in the room. I have never
Yeah.
mentioned that I have a position this whole time, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about the solutions that I've
Yeah.
been able to perform. So
Yeah.
such that when someone sees a problem, they'll be like, oh, um, is it gonna be after 4? You can call solar, right? You can call it. It's gonna be ready. That's what he does.
Mm.
That's his specialty. Like
Mhm.
you have created for yourself a
A niche.
room that when you are out of the room, people are talking to you, talking about you because you have attached yourself to a certain solution in that company,
That's amazing.
organization, or
That's
trust.
amazing. You are the guy who goes the extra mile, who does what nobody wants to do, who wants to work extra hour. Oh, that's quite interesting.
And
That's quite
another
so.
thing is that we need to work on our work ethics.
Thank you. I was
We
going to
need to
go to
work
that.
on our work ethics.
Now, work ethics. Yeah.
That's one thing I currently have learned. I've read it
Mm.
in books. I have a crazy work ethic when I was in Nigeria. And I know maybe one of my friends might be on the stream right now. It was my roommate, right? When I was in college, right? And and my work ethics was crazy, such that I know what I'm doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's nobody who can just come and just get into it, right? Because the work ethics was, and right now when people say, "Oh, I just literally slept 3 hours ago and I'm up again, and I'm
Yeah.
and I'm and I'm moving," and
Yeah.
people are like, "What's going on? This guy's no." It's just the work ethics, and your body listens to you. I used to tell my friends, I said, "Come, don't listen to your body. Don't tell your body. Don't let your body tell you what to do." And be like, "Oh, you're tired today." Yes, I understand. You're tired today, so lay in bed. Tell your body, tell your body that, hey, I'm tired, but I've got to get this work done.
Exactly.
In fact, let me even tell you this because it keeps remembering other stuff. So there was a day that I did not complete my work. Okay, I did not complete my work, and people were surprised. They were like, "Impossible! There has to be something wrong because this guy's high flying. There's no way he's not completing his work. Something was wrong." And I was like, "Oh, I already have it on my computer. I just need to put it. I already have it, done. I just need to put it on the system. That's why you all are not seeing it. Give me 5 minutes, you're gonna see everything on it." It's because everybody was surprised. Like, oh, how come? It's we never you were never a topic of discussion because
Discussion.
I tell you, people will know you for the good that you have done, and they will know you for the evil that you have done. Those are the
Mm.
two things people remember you for, and you better be good that so that people can remember you for good.
Exactly.
And work ethics is a part of it.
Awesome. Awesome, fantastic. So, because in this part of the world, we have this attitude, whether the business makes money or they don't make money, somebody's just expecting a salary. And I tell people that attitude will never make you go far in life. You have to go beyond what your job description. Being a lawyer, when I review employment contracts, one of the things we always add there, that apart from these immediate things that you're supposed to do in your position, you have to carry out all other tasks. You have to carry out all other assignments. Somebody said something, okay, work at it. He said you have to carry out all other tasks, all other responsibilities assigned to you by the organization. People don't read that last line. People expect there should be a raise in my pay this year. Oh, the Nigerian economy is bad. My spending power, my earning power is low. But the question is, have you asked yourself, how can we increase the profitability of the business this year? I'm a lawyer in the company. I'm working in a manufacturing company. So how does my law bring more clients to buy the company's products such that it will affect the books in a way that shows I'm helping move the company's product forward? I'm selling more of the company's products. I'm getting more of the products into the market, and the organization can make more money. At the end of the day, I get to also benefit. People are not seeing that, and that's a very big issue in our environment, especially when we abdicate responsibility. Because I'm excited about your analysis, and this is the way I define leadership. A lot of people say leadership is influence, but I said you can't influence anybody you are not responsible for, or you cannot influence anything where you refuse to take responsibility for that thing. You cannot influence a nation, a society, a group, a workplace that you don't feel responsible for. And so I said to myself, leadership is responsibility, and that's the definition I've been, going about in my leadership evangelism. That leadership is taking responsibility. My mentor calls me the leadership evangelist. So that's where I got the word leadership evangelism from. So I'm summarizing this. It's about taking responsibility. I want you to talk about taking responsibility, because why we have the death of leadership, my research in my doctoral program, is that people are not leading, people are not finding themselves taking up leadership responsibility because they've not tied their ability to solve problems, provide solutions, to taking responsibility for a situation. For example, many years ago in college, the same college, the Great Obafemi Awolowo University, I traveled and I came back and I met all my friends in the room, excited, they were gisting. Of course, we were all happy to see each other. I brought back some goodies. Okay, you're just coming back from home. When you go home and you come back, people are always very excited. You're coming with food stuff, you're cooking. Whilst they were all sitting down on the bed gisting, the first thing I noticed, there were shoes scattered everywhere, slippers everywhere. I started arranging the reading table. I started arranging some of the things in the room. I started clearing up people's shoes. And one guy made mention of it. I said, wow. He said, PT, the difference maker. He said, you stepped into this room and you could already see the things go wrong. He said, I saw the same things, but I didn't take any action. He said, I just learned a lesson from here. That I was conscious of the fact that everywhere was disorganized. We all ate, we just dropped our plates everywhere, dropped our shoes, dropped our book. He said, but you came, you organized, he said you were not in the room. Within 5 minutes or 10 minutes that you're in the room, you've changed the whole atmosphere. Everything. He said, it's what we call leadership. Now, when he said it, this guy's name is Bayo Aremo. He's a younger brother to one of my friends, and he's also a friend himself. And he lives in Aberdeen today. He lives in Scotland. And when he said that thing struck me. So I sat down and I was thinking about it. Reflecting that you came in, you cleared everything, and I had to put it into my work life. I had to put it into my environment. That anywhere I am and I notice something, I have to take responsibility for it. So the question is, what's the disconnect? That people see the problems, but they don't have the will. They don't exercise the will to want to take responsibility for solving problems, for going the extra mile, for doing that difficult task that everybody is running away from. What's in that? What's the problem?
I would say everybody wants an incentive for something. Okay, so there's actually you need to start seeing incentives in a whole different dimension. Okay.
Okay.
Um, See a position in a company as an incentive for working hard, not seeing you get in a position, you know, and then work hard. Do you understand? Do you understand that? So everybody wants an incentive. Okay. Tell somebody that I have a goal. I'm currently making $100,000 or $50,000. If I walk into this room, I want to be able to tell these people in 1 year that I want 120, and they'll be able to give it to me
Mm.
without asking me to leave because they would have felt my impact. So,
Yeah.
so if you like I was saying earlier today, that if you walk with an intention in
Mm.
mind,
Yeah.
you would not have problems going extra mile. You already have a vision in your mind that, oh, I want to be able to walk out of this room after I must be able to be to ask for these people for a pay raise in 2 years, and they'll be
Yeah.
glad to give it to me. So what do I need to do? If the more problems that I solve in here, is the more opportunities the more likelihood for them to be able to say,
Yeah.
oh, let's help this guy, let's increase this guy's
Yeah.
rate. And let me tell you this. So I was working for this hospital in Lagos, right? When I was working there, I think I was making maybe 100 and I would say 150,000 naira. Okay, as a young doctor. Okay, so I started making that money, but I knew in my mind that that was chicken change. Okay, so I'm like, if I get into this place and I'm doing the right thing and I'm helping this company grow,
Mm.
I can walk up to this man and just say, sir, these are the metrics. Okay, our revenue used to be 3.5 million every day before I got here. Okay, but now our revenue is 5.7. This is the role that I play in that. I'm just kindly asking if we can if they don't give it to you, you have registered something in their mind. They'll be like, oh, maybe we should start paying attention to this guy. Maybe we should start paying attention to his solutions. Maybe we should start paying attention to the things that he does. That should not be that
Mm.
more money,
Mm.
more position, more stuff should not be your first thought. Your first thought should be service and solving problems. If you do that, money just naturally gravitates to the person who solves more problems. The more problems. Elon Musk, I was in a conference and he was speaking. When he got to a peak in life, I mean, when he got to a peak in his career, he was like, you know what? I don't think I can be the richest man by continuing to do this. Okay. So he said, okay, let's put someone, let's put someone in Mars. Let's just take someone to Mars. And from there, you know that if you talk of character, like someone who is calm, who is very Elon Musk won't fall into that category because I mean Elon Musk is just that guy who would tweet about anything, who would just say anything. But guess what? He is the guy who produces a solution in a certain thing. He didn't leave that to NASCAR. He created his own. And he said, let's fly somebody to Mars. And guess what? The president, who's not his friend, will want to be his friend, right? The the other I mean the other people who don't want to be his friend will be his friend. So he could have been managing that, I mean, 800 million wealth or 1 billion wealth if he stayed in just doing Tesla. And he took it a step further. And guess what? That moving a step further helped his Tesla. So you need to change your perspective about incentives. Incentives should be more than money, should be more than position. Let people just talking about you, that you're the problem solving guy in the room, be an incentive for you. the money would just come. The money would just attract. There was one time that I was thinking of eating eating 3 square meals was my problem. Like if I ate that, I would even eat some of my friends' food. Like I'd be like, hey, you cook something for them, and I'll eat their food. But I'm telling you right now, like that's the least of my problem. In fact, right now, I would see food and be like, no, I'm trying to watch my weight. I don't want to be fat. So let me tell you, everything
that you are doing the same thing you are supposed to do. You are doing the same thing that you are supposed to do, simply and it's the child who was trying to I'm doing house chores for you. You're supposed to pay me because I cleaned your room. You're supposed to pay me because I ironed your clothes. You're supposed to pay me because I did your laundry and all that. And the mom is saying, so who pays me when I did that for you? When you look at scenario money, let's narrow it down. So I want to how resolve this sense of importance or people title. And like we were talking about the workplace, somebody who expects the salary to increase without thinking of how to add value.
if you try yourself, if you try in your mind and you consistently have tried your solutions, you've tried your solutions because money is important. We need to talk about that. Money don't look like a devil by trying to want money. Okay, you want money. Everybody does. But I want you to change your perspective about money. If you change your perspective about money, you will be able to you'll be able to if you change your perspective about money, you'll be able to gain even more money by doing that. And what do I mean by saying that? Okay. For example, you have tried that solution 10 times and you've gotten a certain results. For example, you work in a, let's say, entertainment industry and you make hits every single day. Every song you have made is has been an hit. Even the one you made for free, even the ones you have built a catalog, right? You built a catalog for some time. So you at that point, maybe if you made your 10th big song, you can now say, you know what? I now make $2 million for each song that I make for people because I have made it and I know how it is done. But many people, their problem is they're just walking into a room. The first time of doing that job, they're already thinking of, oh, how much am I making out of this? Okay, it doesn't work that way. Trust your solution first. Yes, trust your solution first. Okay. The reason why some people are mediocre, let me tell you, if I walk up to my company today, let's just say, and I say, let's say there's no contract, about how much I can make and everything. And I walk into my office and I'll be like, you know what? I really feeling stressed out, making this current money. I need more money. If they don't want to give me at that point, or they don't have a plan of giving me at that point, they would encourage me to wait until the time they actually want to give me, because of so much that you have done for that company, the stability that you have brought into the company, the ease that you have brought to the company. Never let anybody think there's a problem in a company and that was caused by you. Never let anybody see there's a problem in a community, in an industry that was caused by you. You are disincentivizing yourself. You can make yourself a cash cow if you can reproduce your results the same way over and over and over and over and over again. Someone saw that. I mean, if Dangote wasn't doing that rebagging company, probably nobody would have given him more money. If you thought that Dangote, the money that he actually used in making the next step of his life was from, if you think that the next step of his life was from his partner, then you were a joke. Because guess what? It was the results from his last level that opened up his next level. So let's just change our perspective. Money is good. I mean, money is good. If I jump on this life and I tell you money is not good, then maybe you should come and take the ones in my bank account. I'm telling you, money is good. Okay, because you need money for personal stuff. Okay, you need money for if you have to rent an apartment, you need money for that. If you also want to buy a car, you need money for that. So don't seem like some people volunteer for 20 years. No, you can't continue to do the same thing. You have to evolve. You have to move on to the next level. But how you do it and your perception about it. When someone knows that you're doing something for money, they know when you are doing it sincerely, and then they reward you with the money.
Awesome.
So there's a completely different perspective. And let me tell you, I think Nigeria will make a lot more difference if we start paying hard work.
Thank you.
We'll make a lot of progress by rewarding hard work. So,
interesting. I just got a letter for my sister, who is the principal of the secondary school. She's the director of education. She's because the performance of her school went by 76% in terms of performance. in improvement. This is for me good news. It came when you were and they come to the class stage. I've been a part of a class college. They said, from the register, 200 of you registered last year, 450 something people registered in the class. 15 people had a C. The remaining number of had it, nobody had the, they bragged in the field, and they said, the upper year, 600 and something students participated in this class, 400 and something failed, they had an F, and so now the population has reduced. That the 213 of you who are here are the chosen, and as the chosen ones, you. But I guarantee you, not every one of you will pass. Not every one of you will still come back for this class. Some of you may end up abandoning the class, but I can see that 70% of you are new faces. Listening to him, I was thinking in my head, saying, you are taking pride, rolling out
of your own failure,
of people whose lives you really of your own failure. So I told my friend, said, we need to pray. And I said, we need to pray that God should take this guy out. Not because we are afraid that we are going to fail. I'm confident that I can pass the course, but this guy is just deliberately out to want to help people's life. I said, they should just take this guy out. That God should just take the entire system, because he has a lot of people. So what he does is that he feeds up people's fear. He feeds up, so people go to pay their way to want to. So he just creates that atmosphere. He destroys your psychology or your winning ability. He destroys the before he now begin to teach. So it's a psychology warfare. And when we looked at it, I thought it was a joke. I was so serious about it. Then let's do 3 weeks. After taking just about 2 or 3 classes, I don't know what even happened to him. Something just happened, and they brought a new guy, an elderly man, and they brought him back to come. And that one was so friendly. That one broke the class into smaller groups and created different times and created a leadership structure for each group. Appointed 3 people, a group leader, an assistant group leader, and a secretary who disseminates information about when class holds, what time, the venue, and who distributes materials. He made available new materials, available information. You don't have to be writing, just read it ahead, then let's discuss. So he broke it down into groups. And all he does is to come to class, and within the groups, they broke it down into groups and ask people to make presentations. So you go read the notes, you come to make presentations, he listens and he scores you. So before you write the exam, before you write tests, the class was so organized. So literally, God answered our prayers. They just took the guy out.
so people, like I said, just make life easy for other people. If you make life easy for other people.
Shola, I'm sorry, it's going to be exactly 1 hour soon. So our Instagram may go off. This whole conversation is supposed to be for 1 hour.
Oh, okay.
And I'm really, really enjoying it. The kind of wisdom and insights we're providing. We need to make this available for more people to listen to this. Then we need to do this again and again. I need to invite you again and again for us to have this conversation, ongoing conversation. Somebody was telling me, you don't have to publicize this. Just do it at any time. People will join. I said, oh, really? But the person I'm dealing with is a medical doctor, and his schedule is crazy. That I can't just get him at any time. That right now he's going to be joining us 4 a.m. because he's in Virginia, and Eastern time zone is where he operates from, and that's about 5 hours behind us in Lagos. And it's a huge sacrifice that he's joining us when he's supposed to be sleeping.
I'm so honored to be on this live with you, sir.
So your concluding thoughts on this for somebody who is busy, because you've thrown out a lot of challenge out there. And I know people are going to reach out. People want to hear more of this, because the stuff you're sharing is not common. Is not the regular stuff that people hear.
My closing thoughts would be, number one, When you get into a place, number one, identify the problems. Ask yourself, where is the problem? Because the problem solving guy is the leader in the room. Okay. So ask yourself, where's the problem? Number two, how what can I do to make life faster, to make things faster for the people, for things here? I mean, when you see the problem, how can I make this better, faster, you know, um
Yeah.
make more, money for how can I make, for example, for example, let's say you're a singer, how can we make this song a better song? How can we make this concert, this show, a better show? How can we make this movie a better movie? How can we make this organization a better organization? Number two,
Awesome.
how can these solutions now outlast me? When I step
Mm,
out this room, how
mm,
can this be replicated? So you have to
yeah.
build systems. And what do you mean by systems? Systems does not mean one big thing. It could just be like writing that step of doing that stuff. Because right now, when you walk into a hospital, you see the algorithm on treating COVID patient, such that a
Mm,
new doctor that's been hired tomorrow knows that when the SpO2, that's the specific gravity, or specific, the saturation of oxygen is at this level, then we have to intubate this patient. Everybody knows. The new guy knows because it's written on the board. The
system is
professor
there.
knows. I mean,
Mm,
everybody. So the professor's in the bed sleeping, but
mm,
someone else can reproduce the same success that he
mm.
used to reproduce when he comes to work. So let somebody else be able to reproduce what you what the solutions that you are providing, okay, by writing things down in an orderly manner. One, two, three, four, five. Build systems. When we do this, it will do this, it will go to this, and this will happen. Or build organograms. This person reports to this person, this person reports to this person. You're in a
That's
space,
fantastic.
you see the whole place organized to be like, no, we should do this number one and do this number two. That's building systems. Okay.
System.
Number three, you need to build relationships. You need to build relationships with other people, other team members. You want to be a good team player. You want to be able to
Mm-hmm,
delegate. You want to be able,
mm-hmm.
you don't want to be the only star in the room. You want to make
Yeah,
sure that everybody is a star. You want to
yeah.
be make sure that everybody is the guy. Everybody
Mm,
is the real deal.
mm,
So you
mm.
want to be, you want to, like, I literally said to someone that it was in the place of service that I met most of my mentors. It was in the place of serving. It was in the place of serving that I met most of my mentors. So, just number one, be that guy who's always attracted to where the problem is. Okay. Number two, build systems, and number three, build
Yeah,
people, because it's people that you build that are going to keep doing these things when
yeah.
you leave. And number four, about the incentives, you need to know that money should not be your main incentive.
Awesome.
Let non-material things be your incentive,
Mm.
and let, create your own incentive different from other
Yeah,
people. For example, you might work in a
yeah.
position they want to make, everybody's fighting to be MD. Don't be in that crowd. I don't know how people do it,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
like to be a step further than people. I like to be a step
Mm,
ahead. I want to be a step wiser in thoughts, right? So
mm,
I'm trying to look
mm,
at, okay, everybody's
mm.
fighting for a position. What can I fight for that will make me be in
Yeah.
front of this line? Okay, don't make money,
Mm,
money, 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 money. We need money. I mean, like I said, we all need money, but don't
mm.
make money your number one incentive. You need to change your perception about incentives. And my last closing is that you are a leader. You are a leader. You are born it. It's something that you carry inside of you. You don't need to learn it. You just need to develop it.
Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
you don't need to
Awesome.
learn it.
Awesome.
You are already a leader. You were born a leader. You stood up one day and started working without your mom saying, "Come on, get up, get up." You took the muscle. You stood up and you're taking responsibility for your life. You're taking responsibility for yourself. And and why are you going to grow old and not be a leader anymore? Because you were born a leader. But one thing you need to do to it, you need to develop that leadership in you. And that's my closing. And thank you very, very
Fantastic,
much,
Shola. Thank
for
you.
bringing me on this live. I feel so honored, and I feel so privileged to be on this side to talk to this very, very, very great people. And if you're on this live or you came up on this live at any point, I really appreciate you upping on this live, and thank you very much for taking time out of your busy
Thank you.
schedule this morning on a Saturday to be on this live just to hear a few tips from me. And
Yeah.
thank you very much for inviting me. I really do
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Shola. Thank you so much. It's been a profound conversation, very profound. I just tried to check Twitter now. A senior brother and friend who I respect retweeted it to his followers, and I just realized that my phone was just buzzing and buzzing. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is good." So we have a wide coverage. People are watching on Twitter, people are watching on LinkedIn, people are watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and live on Instagram as well. We will do this consistently every other weekend, and I'm going to be bringing Shola back again. We've laid the foundation talking about personal leadership. He's offered very practical insights that anybody can begin to apply at the workplace, personally, your home, your community, wherever you are. And like I always tell people, if you want to be a leader, take responsibility for the problems around you and begin to solve those problems. When you solve problems for people, like Shola have said, I didn't have any discussion with him on this. I didn't prep him. I just told him, Shola, it's a freestyle conversation. I'm just going to be asking you questions based on what you say, but this is what we're going to be talking about, personal leadership. And last night he was so excited. It was already just, was it last night even earlier or this morning? Because it was 1 a.m. my time. It was 1 a.m. my time. And,
last night it was about like 8 p.m. here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just exciting. It's exciting. We will not stop having this conversation. And this is not throwing out theories or quotable quotes. They are practical things that we want to push a greater number of people to be a part of. So as we continue these conversations, we're going to be getting people to sign up on practical steps to take. And when next I'm going to be bringing Shola back, one of the areas we're going to be talking about is the work ethic at the workplace, which he talked about. And both of us seems to be aligned in a lot of ways, aligned in a lot of things. I'm so excited that I decided to bring him. I was telling him last night that I wrote something down 6-7 months ago, and I went to check my notes where I wrote those things, and I saw that Shola's name is number 2 on the list. And I'm like, listen, and here writing things down because I felt we needed to have a conversation that is qualitative enough, that is insightful, and we need to begin to push that there because there's a lot of vacuum. The conversations there, they are funny. Conversation about somebody who impregnated Tiwa Savage. Did you see that on Twitter? Also the conversation goes on Twitter. All sorts of conversation about why Davido didn't win Grammy, why is it Burna Boy, why is it Wizkid? Sometimes when I read those conversations, it's to it's stressful, but sometimes it's sometimes very fun. But we need to discuss practical things rather than blame game. Bash government, but we all need to begin to take responsibilities. So another time Shola is going to be coming here, we're also going to be talking about political leadership because I know Shola is so interested in politics. And I was telling him last night that I'm starting a school of governance for people within the age of 18 to 45, where we're going to be teaching people how to run for office, how to campaign, how to raise funds for political. I'm talking to a number of my friends who are government right now, and some who are also political strategists. Shola is a political strategist, he's a political mobilizer. He's done that here, probably in Nigeria, and he's done that working with a number of politicians in the US. He's a medical doctor by profession, and he's worked with a number of politicians in the US doing grassroots mobilization. And that's what we were talking about, knocking doors. Why? Because he's not just in his own cocoon, working as a doctor, making money, having fun, but he's also putting his passion to work, doing community service, going out there, taking responsibility. So I want to challenge somebody listening to us and watching us today. please take responsibility to be the leader in your household. Take responsibility to be the leader in your community, in your estate. Take responsibility. Don't abdicate responsibility. I have a neighbor. If anything goes wrong, this man is always taking responsibility for it. We fight him sometimes, but this man is very responsible. Very, very responsible. And if we have pockets of people who take responsibility on behalf of others like that, we're going to have a better society. When you're driving, you take responsibility, being careful, indicating where you're supposed to turn right, in front, do the right thing, obey the traffic laws, pay your taxes, take responsibility, infuse the right value system into the children. If we all take that responsibility, I'm very sure we're going to have a very, very good society, a better society than we currently have. So that's my challenge to you this morning. Thank you for being a part of the Leadership Factory with Toye Sobande, where we talk about the stories of exceptional leadership by ordinary people. Exceptional leadership by ordinary people. Ordinary people, not meaning they don't have a pedigree, not doesn't mean they don't have anything, but they've just been able to translate from being an average person to becoming very exceptional. And I have that example in Dr. Shola Fajano. Thank you, Shola. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. So we'll be talking again.
Right.
It's been 1 hour, 60 minutes. Everybody's been watching and listening to us, and it's such a great time. Thank you for the sacrifice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yes. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.